Good day everyone! We are going to talk about the case study 4, which is entitled, Where Did the Cry of Rebellion Happen? So, this momentous event swept the Spanish colonies in the late 19th century. The journalists referred it as El Grito de Rebelión or Cry of Rebellion. This event happened in August 1896 in northeast of Manila, where Filipinos declared rebellion against the Spanish colonial government. Those events is important markers in the history of colonies that challenged their independence against Spanish. A Filipino historian, Teodoro Agoncillo, emphasized the event where Bonifacio tore the cedula or tax receipt before the Katipuneros who also did the same. Most of the writers identified the first military event with the colonizers or the moment of the cry, which Emilio Aguinaldo commissioned a hymno de Balintawak to inspire the renewed struggle after a back of Biak na Bato. The Monument of the Heroes in 1896 was built at the intersection of Epifanio de los Santos or EDSA Avenue and Andres Bonifacio Drive North Diversion Road, and until 1962, the Cry of Balintawak was celebrated every August 26. The site of monument was chosen for unknown reason.
Different dates and places of the cry. An officer of the Spanish Guardia Civil, Lieutenant Oligario Diaz, stated that the cry took place in Balintawak on August 25, 1896. Historian Teodoro Calao, in his 1925 book, The Filipino Revolution, wrote that the event took place during the last week of August 1896 at Kangkong, Balintawak. Santiago Alvarez, a Katipunero and son of Marciano Alvarez, the leader of the Magdiwang faction in Cavite, stated in 1927 that the cry took place in Bahay Toro, now in Quezon City, on August 24, 1896. Pio Valenzuela, a close associate of Andres Bonifacio, declared in 1948 that it happened in Pugad Lawin on August 23, 1896. The Cry of Pugad Lawin or Sigaw ng Pugad Lawin. It's originally referred to as the Cry of Balintawak. Sigaw ng Balintawak was the beginning of the Philippine Revolution against the Spanish Empire. The historian Gregorio Zaide stated in his books in 1954 that the cry happened in Balintawak on August 26, 1896. The fellow historian, Teodoro Agoncillo, wrote in 1956 that it took place in Pugad Lawin on August 23, 1896. It's based on Pio Valenzuela's statements. Accounts by historians: Milagros Guerrero, Emmanuel Encarnacion, and Ramon Villegas. In the event to have taken place in Tandang Soras Barn in Gulod, Barangay Banlat, Quezon City, on August 24, 1896.
Good day everyone, my name is Mariel Erica Isa Aklag. I'm here to talk about our topic about Guillermo Armas Sangkay. Guillermo Armas Sangkay was born June 25, 1867. He was the original members of the Katipunan. He was designated to build the KKK in Cavite. He also accounts contribute to our understanding the cry of Balintawak and death of Bonifacio. He was also general in the Philippine-American War. He strongly supported the erection of the Bonifacio Monument and contributed 10,000 of his personal money of the effort. He also said, by Bonifacio, I want you to destroy your cedula. It will be the sign that all us have declared our severance from the Spaniards. He also born in Manila, Philippines. He had also resources. First is the Cry of Balintawak. Second is Pinoy Folk Tales in January 19, 2013. Also the Katipuneros 2012. And the lastly is the Urban Rumor 2016.
Primary source account of the cry. On August 26, they held a big meeting in Balintawak at the house of Apolonio Samson, together with the leaders Bonifacio, Emilio Jacinto, Aguedo de Rosario, Tomas Remio, Licio Pantas, Teodora Plata, Pio Valenzuela, Enrique Pacheco, and Francisco Carrion. They started the meeting around 9 o'clock in the morning held by Andres Bonifacio and the acting secretary Emilio Jacinto. Discussing about the uprising, Teodoro Plato and Brisco Pantas and Pio Valenzuela were all supposed to start the revolution too early. Andres Bonifacio told the people that the leaders are arguing against the starting the revolution too early, and Andres Bonifacio persuaded the people if they want to revolt early, and the people shouted as one, saying revolt. And Andres asked the people to give a pledge, destroying their cedulas as a sign of declared severance from the Spaniards.
Pio Valenzuela. He was born on July 11, 1869. He was a medical student from University of Santo Tomas when he joined Berli Week Old on Katipunan. It was a secret organization founded by Andres Bonifacio on July 7, 1892 in Tondo, Manila. He was a Filipino physician and major figure during Philippine Revolution against Spanish colonizer, and he died on April 6, 1956 at the age of 86 years old. Pio Valenzuela, close associate of Andres Bonifacio, declared in 1948 that it happened on August 23, 1956. Gregorio Salde stated on his book in 1954 that the cry was happened in Balintawak on August 26, 1896. Fellow historian Teodoro Agoncillo wrote in 1956 that it took place in Pugadlawin on August 23, 1896, based on Pio Valenzuela's statement.
The Cry of Pugadlawin. The Cry of Pugadlawin, or in Filipino language, Sigaw ng Pugadlawin, alternately and originally referred to as the Cry of Balintawak, or in Spanish, Grito de Balintawak, was the beginning of the Philippine Revolution against Spanish rule. At the close of August 1896, members of Katipunan Secret Society, Katipuneros, led by Andres Bonifacio, rose up in revolt somewhere in an area referred to as Caloocan, wider than the jurisdiction of present-day Caloocan City and overlapping into present-day Quezon City.
Definition of cry. Cry derived from the Spanish word El Grito de Rebellion, or Cry of Rebellion, or El Grito for short. However, El Grito de Rebellion strictly refers to a decision or call to revolt. It does necessarily connote shouting, unlike the Filipino sigaw or sigaw. First skirmish. Up to the late 1920s, the cry was generally identified with the Balintawak. It was commemorated on August 26, considered the anniversary or first encounter of Katipuneros and Guardia Civil. The first shot of revolution was fired at Banlat, Pasong Tamo, then considered a part of Balintawak and now a part of Quezon City. Other cries. In 1895, Bonifacio, Masangkay, and Emilio Jacinto and other Katipuneros spent Good Fridays in the cave of Mount Pamitinan in Montalban and now part of Rizal Province. They wrote "Long Live Philippine Independence" on the cave walls, which some Filipino historians considered it the first cry.
Our positive estate is in the Constitution of Biak na Bato, where it is stated the independence of the Philippines from the Constitution of the Spanish monarch. A separate estate and with a proper constitutional government called the Republic of the Philippines and initiated the revolution on August 24, 1896. We trusted in the declaration because it is a legal proof that leaders of the revolution are concerned insofar. In Emilio Aguinaldo's writings, it states that on August 24, 1896, the tearing of the cedula or the revolution began. The events of 17 to 26 August 1896 were similar to Balintawak than to Caloocan. On August 24, on Balintawak, the people traditionally responsive to the cry of Balintawak should be celebrated. The Balintawak cry is an opportunity to figure that takes us on the road of fighting for our rights. It's important to know where and when it really happens. But if we understand what our past really is all about, how we gain freedom from the pretender who wants to own our country, it's more important for us. It's even possible to have a cry called Pugad Lawin too. But like the version of Balintawak's cry, it does not have much evidence to make it more clear. To explain what they all fight for, we need to remember the events. It serves as the reminder for everyone to keep on fighting for our rights and not let anyone violate our properties.
So here are the analysis of case study 4, which is entitled Where Did the Cry of Rebellion Happen? First, August 1896, in northeast of Manila, was the rebellion of the Filipinos against the Spanish colonial government, and it was called the Cry of Rebellion or El Grito de Rebelión. Second, the cry took place on August 23, 1896. However, this date is still debatable. Third, the latter accounts of Pio Valenzuela and Guillermo Masangkay on the tearing of cedulas on August 23 are basically in agreement, but it has a conflict with the location of each other. Valenzuela points to the house of Juan Ramos in Pugadlawin, while Masangkay refers to Apolonio Samsons in Kangkong. Fourth, in 1895, Bonifacio, Masangkay, Emilio Jacinto, and other Katipuneros in the caves of Mount Pamintinan in Montalban, they wrote Long Live Philippine Independence on the cave walls, which some Filipino historians consider the first cry.